and welcome to another episode of the Good Keyboard Friends podcast. I'm not even going to try and bother to say what the episodes are because I'll explain that later. But my name is Hubert the Mad, and I am here with a full crew. So we got Tanghus, we got Jomes in the house, we got Black Simon, and we have the one, the only AKB James. Welcome, my dude.
Hey.
Oh my God. So this is the first time it's been, it's difficult because when the episodes release are not technically when we record, but it's been a while since we had the full crew together. So I'm very happy that we're all here. So
it has been a long time. It's nice to see Jomes. It's nice to see Tanghus. Hello, boys. Tanghus, I see that you have something seems a little different with you. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, apparently someone thought I should donate to the Scandinavian Sea Shepherd organization.
Oh. Okay.
So, and apparently that someone was also real fucking tired of listening to me, so they decided to listen to me some more. In HD.
Well, to be honest, we were
high
all
fidelity
tired of listening to you on your snowball. But then two of us decided to take action, which maybe they should explain themselves a little bit.
Oh my God. It's before we get into the podcast real quick. So Simon and I asked Simon, hey, what kind of interface should we get Tanghus? Because Simon's the one that's been pushing towards Tanghus getting an upgrade. And I thought it was a fucking great idea to pretend, like, cook up some half-baked story to tell Tanghus so he didn't feel bad about getting something for free. But little did I know, as I was talking with Tanghus...
Like, literally, as Hubert is talking to him, I open up the DMs. I'm like, yo, Tanghus, give me your address so we can send you a free microphone and interface.
So we were not communicating between each other. So Simon was bringing up...
To be fair, like, I was talking just me and Hubert, and he's like, I'll try and get his address sneakily. And then I read that. I'm like, okay, why would I need to get it sneakily? I could just ask him his address. It's fine.
So,
you guys should just ask me because I have his address. I would.
See, I thought I had your address, Tanghus, but I guess not. Like, you've gotten Simon merch, right?
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah, actually, quite a while ago.
Yeah, and like I would have your address as you were a thought captain as well, but like I guess like I scrubbed all of that. Like I didn't keep that information on Discord, so I was like, it's fine.
Simon bringing up how he's gonna send him a pod mic, and then me saying, "Oh, my random friend has a pod mic." Purely coincidental, but yeah, that's. We didn't do a very good job, did we, Tanghus?
We did fine. He's got the pod mic. It still needs to be configured.
The thing is,
but we're chilling. We're good.
Yeah,
we're zooming.
The funny thing is, even he got the pod mic yesterday when we were trying to hop on a call. It took him like an hour or two just to figure out how to set up the pod mic.
Oh, I can
just
tell
to
you
join
why.
a Discord call.
Because this fucking thing has like this
skill issue.
Stupid ass. Here it is. Input for like a fucking headset and like overriding all my speakers and shit and like getting it to interface through all the drivers. I'm not a smart man.
You can just tell your computer, this is the microphone and these are the speakers, right?
Fun fact.
I have like 5 audio outputs right now.
Fun fact. Discord didn't give like a flying fuck. It's just like, sure, buddy.
Oh, I mean, like the next step is you just like set everything correctly as default. So like that is your default mic and your usual headset is your like default speakers. And then fuck it. At that point, I'd reinstall Discord so I don't have to mess with it. It'll just pick up everything automatically. Fucking hate Discord, dude.
Thing is, I'm lazy.
Fair point.
I will openly admit that. And like things should just like work out of box. Like here, take this, plug it in here, plug it in there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it didn't just work.
I mean, we didn't rule out, like, there is the fact there is a non-zero chance that it was all a skill issue.
You might have a slight skill issue, because, like, their stuff is real easy to do. Like, I got, like, the big-ass, like, podcaster thing, and that took, like, no time to set up. It was so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though, to be fair, I did struggle for a little bit to, like, get input and outputs correctly, because, like, their nomenclature doesn't make sense for, like, my use case. Like, it's meant for podcasting, so they're just like, this is chat mic. I'm like, what the fuck is chat mic?
Well,
Apparently, chat mic is what's in my ears.
yeah.
Whoa! What just
What was
happened?
that?
Oh, that was James cutting. Okay, so James has no background noise filtering whatsoever. To anybody listening to this podcast, hello. You probably do not hear you definitely do not hear the background noise, so don't worry about it. We're fine.
Yeah. Speaking of someone who is not lazy, I want to introduce our good friend here, AKB James. I'm just gonna
Respectfully disagree. We're all lazy. Show of hands. Let's be honest.
I'm gonna call James. I'm gonna call Taiwanese James Jomes, just to make it clear.
Okay.
But many months ago, I reached out to James asking him to be a part of this little initiative that my friend Spooky was trying to figure out, designing keycaps. He didn't know who the fuck I was. Obviously, everybody knows James, but he was gracious enough to actually respond to me, like many of the awesome people in our community do. And he's like, yeah, let me know when it got closer to the date, and I'll see what I can do. But that started my relationship with James, and we know him as a designer and someone who is just fucking an amazing dude. But the next interaction I had with him was I bought one of the warehouse find Canon Keys items. It was a keyboard called the Ella or Ayla. How am I pronouncing it, James? Yeah. Little did I know, it was a unit that was pre prototype or something like that, and the PCB didn't necessarily fit. I totally fucked it up because I dremeled the PCB in order to make it fit.
That is the correct response. If you get a PCB with a board and it doesn't fit, if you're not going directly to the Dremel, what is wrong with you?
Oh my god! I asked Jomes about what to do, and he gave me that good advice. I just fucked it up because it's skill issue. And then I reached out to James again, and I was like, "Can you help me, please?" And he explained to me the background of that board, of that specific prototype, and how he'd try and see if Upas had time to get a PCB made, but no guarantee because everybody's super fucking busy, And it just started our little conversation. Every now and then I'd talk to him about this or that, and I'll get into the fitness thing later, not only in a later episode, but just later. But I realized that, holy shit, I understand why everybody in the hobby loves AKB James. And I wanted to get him on the podcast because, he's amazing. So welcome, James, dude. What else do people know you from besides designing boards? Because that's how most of us know you.
I don't know, being sexy. I don't know. Just being a massive chat overall. Largest penis in the observable universe.
People like making up bullshit, but I mean, that's the primary thing. Anything you hear is untrue. No, I don't know. It is primarily design, I think. I didn't really spend a lot of time socially in the hobby before I started designing. I was more of a lurker for a year and a half, 2 years. Just play into my nature, I guess. But since then, I've tried my very best to keep myself to myself, but I've ended up interacting with quite a few people along the way. Especially during the early days, it's working really hard to try and get projects off the ground and that kind of thing. But also, like, as I'm learning and expanding on design knowledge, keyboard knowledge in general, I ended up doing a lot of favors for people. And then that's going to come back around later. I think that's how a lot of people come to remember me these days, aside from some terrible keyboards and a few commissions and classes work and that kind of thing.
Okay, James, we got to talk about the terrible keyboards. You can't just gloss over it because, like, I've seen some cursed ass motherfucking projects in my day. I know you have too. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. I mean, don't show me. Just like tell me about, like, you don't have to get into like big specifics, but just like you can give specific details of like why something was cursed. Like, I remember the Meme 65, also known as the Penis 65 Krillbits, fantastic project. That had zero tolerance set up. So it was essentially friction fit from the factory.
I think the majority of the genuinely cursed stuff was all with Glarses. Because,
that checks out. Okay.
It had to be a one and done kind of project. There's no prototyping involved. There's no development time. Like he has a deadline on when he wants to get a video up because he wants to have a regular cadence, or he did at the time. And a lot of money you're going to just get this one of one made. And I would do my best on like the management side of it to try and keep the cogs turning in the background. But then when it arrives, it doesn't matter what state it's in. That's what's going to be in the video. So when it came to things like the world's largest keyboard that we did, I had no idea what I was doing with stabilizers. Never designed anything with kind of moving-ish parts in my life. So I just took the regular design, blew it up, and tried to make it 3D printable where you could kind of fix parts together.
Wait, what'd you do for the wire then?
It was broken up into, I think, 4 parts, if memory serves. He was going to glue it together.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a big missed opportunity of not bending a metal rod. I would have bent a metal rod.
It would have been like that thick.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's just running it
It
through
would
a
have been
tube
great.
bender.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you'd have to
The
go
whole
into
thing
like a
was-
workshop to have it done, but like fuck. I want to make the giant stabilizer.
The whole
For my
thing
giant
was way
switches.
more curse than we could have thought. And it still ended up weighing an absolute ton as well. So that was kind of the cursed element of even just trying to get it on a desk or on some kind of surface to build it. Even though I spent half the time designing it, was actually trying to shed weight. Even if I did machine time, just cutting as much material out of the thing as I could. I think I saved like 60, 70 kilos out of it. And it's still weighed, I think, somewhere between 80 and 90 when built. Absolute stupid thing. There's other things like pizza keyboards. That was...
The pizza keyboard was excellent. Come on.
It was a thing. God, yeah, memory is so terrible though. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that never actually made it to video. I don't know if it ever will. But I mean, like a saxophone at one point. Keyboard saxophone. And with built-in speakers and wireless receivers and 40% on the side.
See, that's the good shit, James. You're complaining like it's the bad shit. That's the good shit. The fact that you get to see shit like this, the fact that you get to like lick the dirty floor of the seedy underbelly of the most cursed of keyboards. Like, I'll fucking been there. I've come up with dumb, stupid shit. You've been. We've all fucking been there. Anybody that's like got that like that little hook of, I design a little bit. Immediately you start doing the dumbest shit. Jomes.
Oh yeah.
I know you never been there. I've never been there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me pull out my Jabated. 1 second.
I don't know what you're talking about.
One quick moment.
Are we pulling out our little macro pads?
May I show you? May I show you Exhibit A?
Oh, that's actually the only one that's in the room because someone forgot to bring it to the DMK
So
meet.
Exhibit A, a appropriately sized hard case for the Jabated right there, with the full copper bottom. Beautiful, gorgeous. Not a meme. Apparently, not something
Not
ridiculously stupid.
Not a meme. No, it's stupid.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, that's so good.
I don't know. I think that's the fucking funnest part of it. Like, there's the curse side, but there's also the fun side of just like coming up with shit and just designing shit because you want to design shit. You look at a project and you're like, I'm probably not going to make any money off this, but it's real fucking stupid and I find it silly and it makes me happy. So I'm doing it.
That's my general approach to design. Like I'm trying to kind of pick and choose how I present certain projects. Well, at the very least internally, I try not to take it too seriously because I'm not
Riggy.
one to stand there and beat his chest and shout about
Riggy.
how amazing shit is.
Hi, Riggy.
So,
Riggy.
yeah, you saw it at the OGR. Like I was basically telling people not to buy it. Telling it it's like I was basically doing everything short of saying it was a scam because I just wanted to let my silly side out. And I'd like to do that like more projects, and I am in a very subtle way with these new AKB posters like for the OGR too. There's some that I have like a particular kind of story and narrative a bit more serious in mind, like Droya. I don't like to say this is a really cool keyboard, buy it. I'm not that kind of person, so I'd rather just say it's a bit of shit, isn't it? If you like it, just buy it. If you don't, then it's fine.
Well, I love origin stories. I was going to ask a question to James and Jomes, but before I do that, about designers working with like famous designer or like famous people. But how did you get your boots on the ground? like getting into the hobby, into designing? What was your background? Are you an engineer as well? Because every fucking buddy is an engineer here.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I have no discernible skills outside of very specific design applications, such as a keyboard or keyboard accessories. No. Prior to this, I was just coasting through life, really. Just one job or another. Like I was working in customer service at a flooring place when I first got into the keyboard hobby. Just getting by, living month to month, whatever. And the very, I guess, start of me being in the hobby was scrolling through Reddit and seeing this old, I think it was on r/all, and I can't remember who posted it now, but there was a keyboard with, I think it was like GMK Sky Dolch or Ocean Dolch in a wooden keyboard.
Yeah.
And I thought, what is this? This looks incredible. Like I've never seen a keyboard like this in my life. And get on the subreddit, start scrolling through and seeing just all these different custom builds and bits available, and then thinking, I can't afford any of this. So I ended up discovering switches and started collecting those instead. They're a lot more affordable, especially like buying little bits here and there rather than spending a few hundred at once. So that was kind of my first way in. But then later on, fast forward like a year and a half, I was in the UK Discord server and we were talking about a little 40%-ish board called the 1800 Mini. Again, I can't remember who designed it, but it was basically like a mini 1800 with 40s kind of energy, but it wasn't ISO compatible. So we were playing around with Keyboard Layout Editor trying to make a UK friendly version of it. There's maybe like 4 or 5 of us doing it in this channel, and I think either me or somebody else landed on a particular variation of the layout, and then one guy, Stocks, who was either a mod or admin at the time, he said, "If you design it, I will buy it."
Yeah.
It's all right. Sounds like a good dare. And then I spent 6 weeks maybe in my spare time, like around work, just like way late into the night, trying to learn how to design on Fusion. And going through Quantric's old kind of terrible tutorial for keyboard design. And because I'm not a good learner, I was going through the video like 5-6 seconds at a time, repeating it over and over to try and get it to drill into my head. And even at the end of it, I still messed it up a few times, but eventually I landed on my first design, and then that was the Raine, that one there, one that Pontus has mentioned before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a wedge. It's kind of shit. And the grid bar was cursed and it went wrong. Factory tried to pull the plug on it after making a load of mistakes and ended up losing like a lot of money, which I really couldn't afford. But that's just kind of the way it goes with self group bars. Yeah. But I got hooked, and that only got more intense when the OGs comp came around. And that it's from there when things really exploded for me. It's kind of every spare moment I had was all on keyboards at that point. I just felt like I was developing some kind of skill or ability that I've never really had before. Just going through life, just going to work, going home, gaming, watching a film, going to bed. That was my life. And now I was doing something productive, and it was really addictive seeing something that I kind of made in people's hands and they were enjoying it. And it's like, this is, it's a bit of a late start for me, because I think at this point I was like 28 or 29 or something, but it's like, it was.
That's fine. It's never too late to find something to be passionate about, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
like you get people in their like 60s, 70s that discover something and are all about it for the rest of their lives. So like, it's never fucking too late. Find something that makes you happy. Do it. Yeah.
I was very grateful for it, because I was coasting. I had no direction, no ambition, anything like that. So it really kind of put me on a different path from that way forward. And I'm still doing it now. And a lot of other people doing it at the time aren't around anymore. So I just, it's sometimes I look back and it's like, it's kind of cool. It's like I've actually managed to make something out of this, which is very atypical for me in history.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people that are still around, not all of them, but a lot of the people that are still around are generally, I don't know, people fall into the pit of, I don't know, them being the good guys. You know, the good guys that are in it for the actual hobby, not like in it for the money, are the people that are still around long term, because pretty much anybody that was in it for the money realized that, you know, the good times are gone and fucked off. So like, you know, there were a lot of good people that we lost as well. Obviously, I'm not saying everybody that fucked off was, you know, infatuated with money. We lost a lot of great fucking designers, and it'd be nice to have them back. But yeah, I mean, like, I consider myself lucky and happy to like still be in the hobby after all this time. But for me, you know, the hobby was transformative. I mean, I met my wife through keyboards. You know,
Yeah.
I treat. I don't know. I love keyboards. We'll leave it there. It's not about me. It's about you.
I want to get Tanghus's and Jomes's opinion on this as well, and Simon, if you have anything else to add. But that's the goal. That's the dream, right? A lot of us, including myself, there's a period in life where you kind of just float on by. You know, maybe it's a 9 to 5 that you go to, and then you get home. You know, you watch TV, you eat some food, and then you repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Like there's a certain point where you may not have a specific direction, and you feel like you're just one number amongst many. It's sad. And then the ability to figure something out that you're super passionate about, and like, holy shit, I can see tangible improvement. Like, I made this thing, and other people love this thing. Like, getting super passionate about one thing, it kind of pulls you out of that, that dreary time in your life, and it's fucking awesome. When it may seem super obvious, and then I'll pass it to you guys, but when you find something you're super passionate about in life and you devote all your energy and time to it, especially if you see it, flourish, it's just fucking amazing. Like, you have a reason to live. Like, what's your why? It's this. It's just fucking awesome.
Yeah, I totally got what James was saying about like pouring all your time into it. Like when I got into keyboards, I just wanted to, after work every day, I just wanted to go, oh, I wanted to open up Fusion. I wanted to open up Blender and do some stuff. So I totally get that. And like, it's almost like a second job. Like after your regular 9 to 5, you just want to pour all your time into it and try to make something out of it. And it's not even about the reception. It's not even about money, of course not. It's just about like doing something that you enjoy and sharing that with like-minded people. And meeting these like-minded people is a super cool part for me. But obviously, like my ultimate goal would be an ice cream machine, which I'm still waiting for the right moment to strike.
You got to have two ice cream machines. One to keep at the office, and one to keep in the back of the Porsche.
Yes, indeed.
Fuck, dude.
And a third for spares.
There you go. Tanghus, do you have something to say about like finding passion, like finding passion in something, no matter where it is,
How does one find it? I think that's the basic of it. Like, I am basically just winging it. I can be passionate about many things. I think the main reason for me leaving the hobby in the first place, I was in like first couple of years and then bought it again because there's no one to share with. And I was like, fine, I'll find something else to share with. That was another expensive hobby called German cars. Don't do that. And then just life just turned to shit, and then it's just like, okay, I need to find something that's like gives me a bit of headspace, and then do that. And I was like, hey, keyboards are fun. And it's like right before like the whole boom, and everyone suddenly had money, and I was like, I moved into a house. I was like, yeah, I could do this. I need something like to get my mind off things, which was convenient at the same time as everyone else. So I also had to like wait like a year and a half on the first things to even arrive. How nice. And yeah, and then just decide to stick around and see. Like, I've seen a lot of people like drop out after the boom here. I basically have nothing to add.
Well, hey guys, what keeps you guys going? Why is the hobby still fun? Is it buying things? Is it the people? Is it the community?
I mean, it's the joy of going on eBay, finding a macropad with like a long ass space bar. Go right to my other friend in Taiwan's like, ain't this a great idea? And he goes like, sure. And then like you're 40 quid into buying some obscure generation pad and putting it out like a one.
We should definitely get him to Tanghus. You should definitely take it and show us.
Oh, then I have to go like
cool.
No, because the great thing here is I shared this great idea to a line-minded individual later.
Yes. Oh yes.
Who then thought it was these are such a great
look at that beauty,
baby.
It's such a beauty.
Yeah, it's just weird. The enter key is sitting on 4 MX blocks. No stabilizers.
That's how you want it.
Yeah.
It's like commit means commit.
Send it.
It's super hard to press though. Like it's super good.
Oh, yeah, and I pulled out like, springs of 2 of them on mine just for that.
Where do you press it? Just wherever?
Everywhere. Otherwise it won't move.
Yes, when you press it, yes.
Holy shit.
No, but like that's the thing that keeps me going. And now I went to the GMK meet with another bunch of like like-minded people. Just go down and you enjoy other things in life. It's also great, like beer and 4 degrees heat in a tent, and apparently meeting James's duplicate.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
so this man can clearly afford a cloning machine.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I was standing at the meetup and looking around, and 2 guy goes like, "Oh shit, that's AKB James." I was like, "No, that's not AKB James." I'm like, "So yeah, sure, I saw him at Clackagon. That's the guy." And then it's just like, "That's not him." And then suddenly the guy's like, "Go talk with him." I was like, then I go to him, and it's just like the guys are like 2 scared. I go to him like, "Are you AKB James of AKB fame?" And he goes like, "Who?"
Exactly.
With a very thick German accent, by the way.
So we met this like great German guy who apparently looks like AKB James and who was very passionate about the whole hobby. And we had a great conversation. And like 5 minutes conversation, he goes like, "Yeah, everything is wrong with the hobbies. Neue Legends. Fuck Neue Legends." Like, I mean, I do agree with him.
I can get on that bandwagon.
Yeah, exactly. I'm completely fine with this. It's just like
I've never held animosity towards like Neue Legends, but you know what? Now that you bring it up, fuck those legends.
Like this man, when he goes like on like, yeah, this hobby, like apparently he had left the hobby or something like 3 years ago, and then it was like, "Oh, there's a meetup at GMK. I want to go," and then like came back in, met the guys, had like a selection of boards were like 3 or 4 years old, or like a really well tuned, very sussy back and echo, but like well done. And he just goes on to rave about like Neue Legends and why have we been trying to fix Cherry Legends in the first place? We're like perfectly fine at the start. We're losing all charm. Like it's not even Neue Legends, also things like fixing the hashtag or the pound key.
And the hat on the 6.
Yeah, and the hat, like everything's like the hat on the 6. Why did we change that? And why did we change the pound key? Like it should be the wide pound.
Fat and the B less fat. And the I is no longer crooked. Is it truly GMK if the I isn't very slightly crooked? Come on, guys. Come on.
I'm like, sure, this man was like an amalgam. Say it was what you're saying now combined with apparently the looks of James here. So I met James already, apparently.
I get around.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he gets around.
James.
He won't admit it, but either that or a glitch in the Matrix.
Well,
yeah,
you heard
the
it
James
here
with
first.
hot takes.
Yeah. AKB James hates Neue Legends. Everybody put that out on every single Discord, every single YouTube comment. Please.
Disgusting.
You know, I think we just all dislike change. as nerds, it's like it's a standard thing. As nerds, every nerd dislikes change. It's like, why do you change something? I know everything about this one thing. Stop fucking changing it. Yeah, it's real annoying.
But that is like part of like when you jump into the hobby, it's like, why change? Like, it's great as it is. Why did we need the change? And then the other half that goes in like very passionate, is like, oh wow, this is shit. We should change everything.
No, like I'm all for innovation. Like innovation is totally fine, but like change for the sake of change is stupid. That's shit better left to, you know, whatever other consumerist hobbies exist in the field, like fucking sneakers and stupid shit like that. Get that shit out of this hobby, you know. I like it's that effort spent in such like a like a bullshit corporate way, as opposed to like that same effort being being put into something that would have been a lot nicer. That's my issue with the Legends. Like, it's not, oh, I am sad because the hat on the 6 is like slightly smaller as it should be now. It's, you put in so much effort for this. Why the fuck? Figure out scaling, get cost reduction, figure out a better way for figure out sustainability for your plastics, figure fucking something out, advance, you know, instead of fucking sit in place and be like, haha, I changed the logo slightly, pay me $1.6 million, corporations, haha. That's what pisses me off.
Well,
that's what grinds my gears.
That's what grinds my gears. Peter, James and Jomes, you do, both of you, obviously, you don't have to name drop, but how is it working with like famous people? And you know, like when we say Glarses, you know, someone who has a massive reach. I don't know him well enough to say that he has a massive penis, so I'm not going to say that. Oh, I said it already. The difference between working with people like them and maybe like an average Joe who asks you for a commission or something like that. Is it like, it's all generalized, obviously, but is it easier? Can you tell like why they have the reach they have? Like, what are the differences between working with someone with a lot of renown versus someone that doesn't have any?
For me, it's exactly the same. He's like Glarses is obviously his platform grew a lot, especially during the time I was working with him. But he's just another guy. He's very hungry to learn, and he's a very, very smart guy. But as with most commissions, the people coming to you to design the thing is because they don't have the know-how themselves, or the skills themselves. So they're asking questions from the perspective of kind of unwillful ignorance. So they'll say, I want this, with no consideration of the journey to get to that point. So it's just working with them and trying to kind of build their understanding of what compromises you have to make, how you can go about getting there. For me, it's been pretty simple. And it's easy with Glarses for me because we had a relationship that we built while working together. We're more like pals than simply just on a commission-like basis. I mean, he actually had me on retainer for like a year and a half, so he was keeping the lights on at home for me. But yeah, with other commissions, it's generally the same kind of thing. I mean, I guess if I get into a little more detail about it, it can be more frustrating with others, especially when working with vendors or companies, because they can, I guess, they were more likely to make some significant changes last minute. Or if you had I had different types of dynamic and agreement with each client I had, but some of them you can just say, I want to get paid out of royalties later. Or something you say, if I don't know them, for example, I want to get paid up front, or part up front, part later. If it's the one where you're going to get paid fully up front and then you've designed something and then you've delivered it, consider the job done. And someone on their team has said, yeah, this is great, we're happy. And then someone else on the team comes back later and says, no, we want to change this. You're now doing, effectively, the way I was doing extra work for free, which is kind of annoying, especially when I've already moved on to other commissions and stuff in the future. But I guess that was kind of the one gripe I had throughout, and I didn't experience that in Glarses, thankfully, but it wasn't really possible. We were working on like 20 things at the same time, and it was just fun. You just coming up with the stupidest ideas you could. Yeah, as individuals, like in terms of just working with people and their platform, Raine, etc., it's one wasn't any different from the other. They're all just, when you're speaking to them one-on-one like that, just remarkably human. And there are very few people I've come across in the keyboard hobby that are not casual, let's say, approaching it in a very professional standpoint. It's just, you can tell it's just always just dudes or girls or whatever, just doing their thing and trying to get through it like anyone else. You don't see some big corporate big wig or whatever trying to do it. At least not the ones I've worked with.
Oh fuck. Before I pass it to Jomes, how is David, aka Glarses? He'll be on the podcast in season 2.
Sweet.
But, yeah,
He's lovely.
Wait, did you just say season 2?
Season 3. I'm sorry.
What?
In the future.
I thought it was season 4.
Yeah, we're on season 6 now, right?
Oh yeah.
No, he's a lovely guy. Yeah, I guess I could elaborate on it a bit more if you want the general story, but when I started working with him, he was kind of feeling about in the dark a little bit as to what to do, just like I was. Different reasons. Like he probably wanted to do something different with his channel to try and grow, differentiate, whatever. I literally just quit my job, and I was desperate to try and find enough commissions or jobs or something to keep the lights on because I had no savings or next to no savings. And we found each other at the perfect time, really. So he was a huge step in me being able to do keyboards full time, make a living out of it. And I was able to help him grow his channel the way he wanted as well. So it was kind of a professional relationship we had, but like it was just as much a friendship as anything else. And then when I was eventually able to meet him at this UK meetup, I don't even know what year it was now, it blends into one. But I went out for sushi after the meetup and just hanging out with him, and yeah, you could tell that he's just a very genuine, warm and lovely person. Like at his core, it's not just a front. He's not just trying to present a character, other than being kind of dumb. But he's not. Yeah, I couldn't say more nice things about the guy. Though it's like one of the nicest people I've met in the hobby to date.
That's amazing. We can't wait to have him on.
Yeah, that's going to be a good episode.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good.
Go ahead, Jomes.
I have not worked with a lot of famous people, so I can't really speak on that. But what I will attest to is how nice of a person Glarses was, because we did meet him in Germany as well.
Oh,
He was super nice, sweetest dude, really soft-spoken, and I did talk about the podcast with him. So maybe, fingers crossed, we might get a chance to talk to him in the future.
Tell him he can
69.
have. Tell him he can have episode 69, but he's got to take it before somebody else does.
Yeah.
Definitely. But super nice guy. That's all I would say.
How is working with many different? You're still doing commissions, ish?
No, I stopped shortly after I started working with Canon Keys, which is August 22, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a while now. Shit. Yeah.
But you're not out of the game. Like you're still like fiddling around with stuff. I assume people still like reach out and be like, "Yo, James, I'm trying to fix this. Can you help me with this?"
Yeah, that's every day. Yeah. I stopped doing commissions because there was kind of a certain point where I needed to develop some kind of work-life balance. So Canon Keys takes up most of my time. And then there are certain, I'm employed there full time. So it's when I kind of find kind of an extra burst of energy or creative inspiration or something is when I'll work on something else in my own time around that. And sometimes with it, because Cookies is happy to platform anything that I do put out, which takes a lot of the work out of it for me in my own time.
How does it feel to be like one of the rare people in the hobby that actually like do keyboards full time? Because a lot of people are afraid to do it. A lot of people have tried it and it ruined keyboards for them. As somebody that's like capable of doing it, like loving the hobby, and also like, to be fair, Jomes is also similar, but I don't know what we're allowed to say. So tell me how you feel about it, James, because like I don't know how I would like feel about it. Like for me, it's like forever unknown because I'd never really consider it.
I guess it's quite fluid, because there's been times where I've strongly considered keyboards to no longer be a hobby and it's just a job. I go through phases of how I look at things. It's kind of just like how I am. I've got ADHD that my focus is darting around all over the place anyway. But sometimes I feel I've always felt very fortunate to have this as a job, because not many people get to do something they genuinely enjoy doing. And I do always enjoy it, even if it is primarily looking at spreadsheets and stuff at certain times of the year. But there are those times when like I'm asked like, okay, we want to design something new for X date. And I can just be allowed to sit down and just get the creative juices flowing, just go down a Wikipedia hole, find some kind of abstract source of information to serve as inspiration for the next thing. And that's the bit that I really enjoy. So when I get to moments like that, it's just like, this is really cool. I'm really loving this. And then there's also other times when I'm just kind of coasting through, life getting in the way a little bit, or there's a lot on my shoulders, whatever. And I'm kind of reminded, okay, that's why I love the hobby. And that is really cool. Or that was really sweet.
So it's always like a constant just hovering in the background. Like times are good, you have the hobby. Times are bad, you still have the hobby, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, the hobby is my life in a big way. The love is always there. It ebbs and flows, but it is always there. And the best times are the ones where I can just let loose and just do my thing, or to be reminded of just like how cool the people are. Because like by nature, like, I isolate myself from people most of the time. I'm just a natural loner. Then I'll go to like a meetup every once a year or two, or like a mini meet, or even just I was listening to like Ponce's episode of this a couple of weeks back, and like he said his nice bit about me at the end, and I'm just like sitting there like 6 a.m. just like, oh man, that's like melted my heart, like reminded me again, like, okay, yeah, this is why I love the hobby. And it reminded me just like the little things all add up. So yeah, just overall, I feel very, I wouldn't say lucky to be in my position in the hobby, like working in it and stuff, and my feelings towards it, because there's been a lot of hard work and trials, tribulations and stuff. But I'm definitely feel very fortunate to be a part of it, let alone working in it. It's, yeah. How many people can say that? I think it's probably quite a short list.
Yeah, it's a handful. There's not that many people like that deep that like do it full time, still like have done it full time for a while and still have that love. That's a tough one.
Earlier, James, you were talking about the posters that you were making, which I think you were selling short. They were absolutely wonderful posters. I think Tanghus would agree that it was targeted marketing against him, as he really enjoys the vintage stuff. And so I just wanted to ask you, like, where do you get your inspiration for these like awesome posters? First of all, like, is that something you grew up with? Is the vintage stuff like something you experienced when you were a kid, or like where does that come from?
Yeah, to a degree. And my memory is not so great. So there's the little kind of flashes of things. The only kind of clear memory I have of an old computer item was, I think it was a Hewlett Packard branded Cherry GAT 1800 that I had late 90s. Couldn't tell you what switches are in it. I just recognized what it looked like straight away. And I guess my earliest gaming days were on MS-DOS, playing some like Mickey Mouse thing and a Thomas the Tank Engine thing, I remember. And that was on a keyboard, but I can't remember that. But I do also remember maybe slightly later on going around Kabu, like a flea market kind of thing, and buying a stack of old computer magazines. I think it was like I think it's just called PC Magazine, something like that.
PC Mag.
Yeah. And flicking through those. And at the time, I'd have a partial interest. I just needed something to flick through and just occupy me. But looking back, I have a much, I guess, like a rose-tinted glasses kind of view on these things. Since OG Summer as well, that it forced me to look quite deep into a lot of, basically every entry on the Desk Authority wiki, and saving like hundreds of photos of things to maybe draw inspiration from, pick my favorites. So through that, and then also these kind of hazy memories, I developed, I guess,
you say hazy memories. OG Summer was 2018, dude. I remember it. Are you okay?
I remember nothing.
Just like always, you just like don't like you must like retain like important shit that you need to retain, right? You just don't like catalog the day to day.
It's a bit of both. I have notes written down everywhere. I have alarms on my phone, like 15 a day sometimes.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So you're struggling.
Oh yeah, I'm winging it through life.
Okay. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't realize it was that bad.
Oh yeah. I'm on a shed load of amphetamines every day just to get me through it. No.
Gang.
Yeah, exactly.
Gang.
Yeah. I developed the taste of it through that anyway. And since then, like I've dabbled in various different types of like keyboard art design stuff, but my heart's always remained in like the old retro PCs, terminals.
I mean, yeah, we can tell.
Yeah.
When we look at your projects, like either it's gorgeous and like you can tell somebody spent like 18 months obsessing about every little curve on this thing, and then you've got the things that are not that, and I'm like, James designed that, surely.
Yeah.
My mind goes to James being locked in the basement, CNCing boards by hand.
Yeah.
That's how we used to prototype back in the day.
Yeah. Just carve it out of it ourselves. Even just, it's weird things I just really like to see on like product design, even, less so the modern stuff. Not a lot of modern things really kind of tickle me, but even just like seams, stickers, as you may be aware now, they're all kind of just more design elements that are often overlooked and things that aren't really relevant a lot of the time now, especially when we go into like seamless boards. You're trying to hide these things where I'd like to embrace them instead. And
I mean, we dropped seamed boards not because of design preference, but because of it was easier to cheat color matching. That's why everybody went seamless.
Yeah,
that was the driving force. But now, like, we have the technology. Like, you can do seamed boards, and the matching is like very good out of like the top 5 factories that you can think of. Throw it to Kezoa, Hong to fucking STR, DDS, whatever. They're gonna nail it. You're not gonna have to worry about color matching.
But even then, just using the seam to break a design can even help you. Like,
and Hong,
you have to like be wildly off with the color matching if you do a proper cover break in the seam of a design. So like, I for one also appreciate like having a proper like broken seam through the board.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with a flush seam, but like just knowing that there's a seam there, it makes me feel more comfortable when I use that keyboard. I trust the designer more because they're not trying to hide shit from me.
Yeah, it's like a tactile thing for me as well. Like I'm always fidgeting and moving around, so having the seam. I'm using the Petrichor right now. Well, I've been for the last 4 years or something, but I'm just running my hands along the side of it, along the seam there. I do it all the time.
Kate would enjoy that.
Yeah, I do that. I always incorporate something like that in any of the AKB
like the
boards I
balls.
design.
Like the balls and
This
the
is
ISO here.
something, yeah. Yeah, when it comes to the posters, when I guess I'm kind of blending Canon Keys and AKB into one a little bit here. Like most months, there's a new project to be launched. Nice. And I was, I guess, thinking about how would you present this keyboard when it comes to like the content, the marketing, whatever. And I just think that all keyboards are presented the same way. Pretty much everything, unless it's like a meme board, of course. You do it as sleek as render as you can. You make it look super premium. You got some nice, sexy lighting on it or something, and it's like a side profile shot. And to me, like none of the boards stand out for it. It's still like I'm in the market for a keyboard. What I look at, none of them stand out to me. I just pick, a random feature on it or which one's the best price or something. So I thought, well, these magazines that I had, I wonder if I can find some for sale, which I couldn't. Decent price anyway. Then I found about Google Books. I find there's a bunch of PC magazines on there. I go through the archives and flicking through, and I'm occasionally finding ads in there for different computer items. I'm just thinking, okay, some of these are really cool. And find something like Commodore, Amstrad, Sinclair, and I want to draw from some of these sources because I love that the design of the products they made anyway. So I thought, okay, part of me wanted to just go silly with it and just do a full-on spoof of one of these. And there's a couple that I've done that have subtle jokes in here and there, very subtle, but a lot of them I just wanted to just really recreate the feel as much as I could. But the thing is, I couldn't do any form of graphic design to save my life. It was just like when I started designing keyboards, like I had zero experience. All I did in the past was just pull up an existing PNG and just add some text to it. That was it. So I had to learn how to use Affinity Photo, which I used to use CS2, which is free for years until it just stopped working. I didn't want to go too deep down the Photoshop rabbit hole, so Affinity is actually based off the road from me. Who's someone who works there. Plus, it's really affordable, so it's what I'm gonna try. And
is it a software
thankfully
that you can like pay for, or is it a subscription?
You can pay for it. It's just a one-off thing.
Well, quick tip: you can get CS2 working on Windows 10. So
I mean, I've got Photoshop, no problem. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we all have Photoshop, no problem. Don't worry about it.
I do. I have CS2 working on my Windows 10 PC right now.
I just that's far right. I'm gonna plow through this again, and it was kind of that creative burst I had when I started with keyboards, where I don't usually have the energy or the will to learn something new, but I was enjoying it, so it was a lot easier. And then I just ended up spending more and more of my free time making these. And I think I've done 12 now. I'm going to kind of scatter here and there throughout, leading up to launch. I don't even care if it helps sell keyboards or not. It's just I'm having fun doing it. And like I said before, is that my favorite times, like as a designer, is when I can just freely create something with no brief, no expectation. I'm not consulting anybody. It's just me, my thoughts, direction, my mess, whatever, however it lands. And I'm probably going to continue doing it after the grid buy, just for other things. I mean, I might do some really stupid ones for OGR2. And
let's go.
Yeah, just all the copying. It's just going to be say like, just don't buy this piece of shit keyboard.
I mean, if you
James,
wanted to sell them,
I have something. I'm sorry, Tanghus. I have something majestic to show you. Speaking of fun renders, I dropped it in our Discord. If Hubert, you want to show it, or somebody else wants to show it,
if someone else can, because I'm on my son's laptop and I don't know how the fuck to get like Discord.
Let's do a quick one here.
For the video
that's
listeners,
very
for the audio
scuffed.
listeners, please.
That
watch
is
the
a
video.
very scuffed alignment.
What is that left thing in the top
Okay,
left
so-
corner?
so
what
this
what
is
is
a
that thing?
So
beats.
this is a render done by Ai03 and Janglad for the Illuminati one. The key set is GMK Explorer, which was a meme key set that Ai03 put together, and it's fantastically rendered here. We'll include a high quality JPEG that you can download because this image does not like any sort of compression. Generally, when you turn up any RGB value to 255 and try to compress it, you don't have a good time. But it's lovely. We've got the item there to the left. We can see the Illuminati 1 keyboard there, and to the right we have another item that you guys will be able to see if you open up the file. Just a fun time.
I like
Those
how
are
the
the
anal
good
beads are. They're the color of my RuneScape clan, Wilderness Guardians. I love it.
Is that going to be an Illuminati keyboard project as well? I'm
Got a
particularly interested
Illuminati
in
wand.
in the
Oh,
left side,
wow.
the product on the left.
Yeah, I don't make that product. I'm sorry. I
I
only
can hear like
specialize
a
in metal.
million Excel users all over the world crying right now.
Yep. Fuck you if you use scroll lock.
Ouch.
That's what my dad said about the keyboard hobby. Like, where is your Schnurkelfesselung? And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like some weird German word? Like, oh, it's scroll lock. I'm like, nobody uses scroll lock anymore. But
Scroll lock has only ever caused problems in my life. It has never helped me one time. If I could have a keyboard without scroll lock, I would, and that's why we have the Illuminati one. You guys are welcome.
I mean,
Also, it's made of steel and it's going to weigh 9 kilos, and it will exist. Trust. And leprechauns are also real.
it's one of those. It has a use, but only for me in Excel, and I don't need a dedicated key for it. But I mean, there is a use. But it's like the
Really?
legit only use case I can ever find is Excel.
Yeah, and that's software specific. Everything else
Yeah.
works in every other application.
Exactly.
Pause break does stuff. You don't need to be in a specific application for it to do stuff.
I don't know
It's
what
a
any of that
leftover
stuff
from
does.
old text editors.
same.
I don't use any lock keys at all.
I
I think
will use
numlock is the
I
most
will use
annoying key ever.
So I will use numlock in a very specific use case. If I've got something that's like a cipher layout, where you've got like a reduced size numpad, not a full 1800 numpad, being able to, and assuming you don't have arrows, it's real comfy to just like use the hardware numlock when you have to enter numbers, toggle it off, and then you have your cross arrows, which I prefer over standard arrows, like inverse T arrows, and you have your nav, page up, page down, home. And once you get used to like the key placement of those, it's real fucking comfy. Like you can work real fast. And that's why like keyboards had the numlocks originally for like that specific thing. So you could quickly go between arrows and nav and numbers. And now, like, since you can remap anything, like if the numlock is on or off, you're chilling. And you still have the actual LED light up, which is super fucking based. Come on.
I want to ask my last keyboard question, and I'm so sad about this. I talked with James about it earlier, but I will not be able to buy an OGR2, so I want us to go over the OGR2. I was not in the hobby during the original OGR.
Wait, speaking of, sorry, continue.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm just going to grab something. I also have a bone to pick.
I know what's coming up. Coming up.
So OGR2, it's the current. Well, it's not yet going to go into group buy, but it's your next project that's going to go live pretty soon. Just tell us about the OGR2, man, because it's fucking awesome, especially for someone like me who joined the hobby too late, who didn't have an opportunity to get the OGR, the original one. Like, how much fun did you have with the OGR2, like the revamps or whatever and things like that?
Honestly, the changes are so simple.
Yeah.
The board itself is one that it's very dear to me, but it brings many conflicting feelings. It brought most of these grey hairs to me.
Okay, I found my OGR.
Sorry. It was a big turning point in my personal development in terms of like designing keyboards, general productivity in my life. Just it's kind of like a turning point for me. I got
okay. So, James, you appear to have sent like the wrong top case for my unit.
You want to wink in this one, right?
I'm just letting you know that like if you try to do a Sengan bottom row on this, I have the wrong top.
Yes.
What fucking top is this? Did
It's
you have like
a Winky 65?
So a forced normie bottom?
I think so. Yeah. It was Paul that told me which one to send. But I can send you the other layout. That's no problem. I got spares.
Like I like the layout. Like I don't want the FRL variant. Like this is a super nice layout.
Yeah.
It's just like the bottom row is real fucky. Like I don't understand what bottom row is this supposed to be besides just like normie.
It's pretty normie.
That's
These are like the greatest boards ever.
Oh, let's go. See, you have the correct top. Wait, you have the nice top. Your top actually like matches like the correct layout. Yeah. 1.5 blocker, 1.5, 7, 1.5. Yeah, that's what I have, except like there's holes. It's fucking bad.
I wasn't cloud enough of a group buy, so I had to chase one aftermarket, but I did get one.
Oh, I got one like way after group buy when James like mailed one to Paul. He didn't even like reach out to me. He's like, I'm secretly sending one to Simon because he thought I'd turn it down.
I did.
Yeah. No, I happily accept gifts. And for projects that like I helped in any way, like I'm okay getting a unit. Like Gian sent me a W1 for free and it's technically a 1 of 1. But like I helped out with the project, you know, I don't mind getting, you know, a thank you.
Yeah. I guess that, back on the OGR2 development itself, it is very, I don't use it day to day myself. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. Like, doesn't quite do what I need it to, or at least I'm not flexible enough to change layouts like that. I'm happy with my Petrichor. I'm sticking to it. But with the OGR2, like it was such a journey getting it from start to finish. So much time, changes, setbacks, arrangements gone wrong or just going nowhere. Eventually taking it on myself.
That's just part of it. That's literally, you just described every group I ever run.
Yeah. You
go through those phases.
Like
waiting for others to fucking like do something, waiting way too long, doing it yourself. Being like, why didn't I do this the first time?
Yeah, thankfully I'd learned a lot between like when I got the first prototype funded by you and to actually running the group by myself. 2 years of that was probably waiting for others. But for those 2 years, I guess I was slowly gathering more experience and insight and through other things I was doing to the point where those lessons were eventually learned. And I thought, right, okay, I'm more confident I can do this on my own. And then I do run it on my own. And it goes really wrong straight away, despite all of my planning. Do you want me to elaborate on that at all?
Yeah.
Right,
I don't want you to push you to saying anything you don't want to, but I want to hear.
Like, no, it's cool. It's cool. So while planning this, I had to get like the storefront set up, which I had no idea how to do. Thankfully, I was put in touch with somebody who could help me build the website platform to do it.
Didn't want to reach out to me. Shit.
Yes, I wouldn't have even known. Like for as long as I've known about you, like we've hardly spoken one-on-one for some reason.
That's true.
Yeah. So we got the platform built, and all I knew at the time was like I wanted to avoid Shopify because I had a couple of vendor friends who were having issues with getting payments out. So I landed on PayPal. I got in touch with PayPal. So I've got this business account, like here's my VAT number, here's all my business details. What else do you need from me? And they gave me all these hoops to jump through. So I jumped through them. I did everything I needed to get it set up. And I even had a brief back and forth with a rep from PayPal via email saying, are you happy with this setup? I think the only thing they asked me to change at the end was be very clear on your ETAs, which I'd forgotten to put on. So add that on, we're all good to go. And then we launch, and it was, I did it for a raffle. So then the certain win is chosen for this system that was set up for the stock run. And the payments start coming in, which was a really surreal thing on its own, because even within minutes, it's had the most money I'd ever seen. I was like, holy shit. And the weight of responsibility was huge. And after like 9,000 and something pounds, the account is locked.
Oh.
So if you're like,
I mean, it's PayPal. We could have never foreseen this.
Yeah, yeah. So, thing is, the money kept coming in, so people were paying their invoices, and I can't remember exact timelines at this point. There's a lot of stress and wondering like what the hell I should do at this point over the next kind of 2-3 weeks maybe. But more back and forth with PayPal. They'd gone back on virtually everything they'd said. They assured me over and over on the phone in writing that there was nothing to worry about. There was no reason to lock. They had no concerns about the legalities or my intentions or anything like that.
Yep, but they have automated systems in place that are, in my opinion, predominantly designed to steal people's money by locking them out and forcing them to like have to fight too hard to get like access to their accounts back. Yeah, I've had my accounts locked so fucking often that I refuse to even touch PayPal anymore. Yeah.
Well, at this point, I was, well, I think I had a panic attack. Like I had £146,000 in my PayPal account, which is a number that I've not revealed before, but that is more money than I'd ever seen in my life many times over. And I couldn't touch any of it. So I kept going back and forth with PayPal and said, do this. I did that, do that. I did that as well. And it didn't help. And then eventually they said, it will be open review on this date. And that date was the following February. But I think it was 7 or 8 months later, Jesus. Which is meant to be after I actually shipped the keyboards in theory. And I said, okay, I'm going to refund the customers then. And they said, you can't do that. So, okay, so I can't take the money. I can't give the money back to the customers, even though they're claiming it was best interests of the safety of their money, security of their money. And so I had to get in touch with a financial ombudsman to essentially threaten PayPal with legal proceedings just to get them to release the money to refund it. And they only released the money in the form of like, you can only refund this. You cannot touch it in any other way, which was fine for me because I was completely done with PayPal at this point. And before I started issuing refunds, I said, "Are the refund fees going to be refunded as well?" And they said, "Yes, like you will not lose out yourself from this."
No,
I did lose out. I was,
yeah, of course you did. What'd you pay? 4%?
I can't remember. It was just shy of £9,000. I had to borrow money off my grandfather to pay that £9,000 with the promise that as soon as I was clear of making all payments on the next run, because I did it again through Stripe afterwards. That once that was done, the first £9,000 of like clear profit when everything was done was going to him before I took anything. So I made good on that promise. But yeah, went through all the hoops again with Stripe afterwards, and they were a lot more understanding, and I got a lot more things in writing that time. And thankfully, everything went really smooth. They were great. And yeah, I think the key thing that maybe helped me was that I was very transparent with the customers throughout the whole process, because it was a terrifying situation for me when it felt like it was impossible. I had no options at all. And you think about all the cautious tales of people running away in like scams and or just burying their head in the sand and not doing anything and making things get worse. I didn't want to be another tale like that. So I thought, even if I end up coming out of this losing like a lot of money and being in debt and whatever, I had to make good on my obligation to the customers because I want to stay in keyboards. I don't want this just to be the end through like a situation that I can't control fully. But yeah, I managed to get it all refunded. No, not everyone was happy still because there were things like currency conversion fees through like people's banks and things that I couldn't control, which I did have to kind of draw a line in the sand. Like, I'm sorry, I can't cover this as well, which I'm sure, it pissed off some people. But I reran the group buy through Stripe. I got nearly as many people again, second time round, and way over the factory MOQ. So I was happy. Technically, it's a success so far. So at this point, like, the OGR is as part of me as anything. Like, we've been through a fucking war together. So yeah, after that shit, and I got everything out of the way, which was probably too long later, like a year later, I think. I wanted to be done with it, and I didn't want to come back to it again. I didn't want to kind of retread old ground. I wanted to continue moving forward, designing new things. Then life gets in the way, and it's hard to find the time to, or you don't just find the inspiration and stuff. And then got a job now, and people have been asking me this whole time ever since the group I ran. And once I finished selling extras, like, you going to run it again, or like, where can I get one? Do you have a spare one? I'm getting requests every week for it. So I thought, right, okay, I'll run it again, but I can't just leave it as it is. I feel like it'd be a bit lazy. I need to iterate on it somehow.
Yep.
So I went through the more constructive, negative feedback about the board, things that people didn't like, which I usually ignore because I don't really care. It's just a design for me generally.
Wait, shit.
But
that reminds me, I looked at the OGR2 on stream yesterday, and I saw that the plastic plate, I forget what the material was. Is it polycarbonate or polypropylene?
Yeah, polycarbonate.
Has none of the leaf spring cuts, but also has side mounts. Why are you doing crimes, please, sir? Are there going to be cuts in the final version, or at least drop the sides?
You don't. You can use it is, but I wanted to flip expectations on their head a little bit first time around, and I wanted to kind of stick with it again, where carbon fiber, slightly flexible, very firm material, happens to be the springiest, bounciest mount.
Yep.
And I mean, first time round, I messed up the alloy plates anyway, so nobody really used those. But the PC plate ended up being the firmest of the lot, and I liked that subversion of expectations. And people still liked it, which is the bit that surprised me most, because it was really an afterthought, and I made that clear. The whole thing was designed around carbon fiber, and I only put polycarbonate in because people wanted it. I tested various flex cut versions to try and emulate the same kind of build, and it didn't work. It just bottomed out all the time.
Okay, so it's basically the firm build. So instead of alu, you've actually got polycarbonate, which acoustically is a lot more interesting than dealing with alu. Okay, I see it. Yeah,
it's the smooth brain build, I would say.
Yeah,
some people like it though, so I'm not gonna yuck their yum, but I took on some of the feedback from round one, and the main thing was the integrated cable. So I thought, well, I tried my best to include as much room as possible for any size kind of shroud on the connector, and some are just too large and don't fit, and I couldn't account for everything. I just did my best. So some people said, I need to get a new cable for this, and they really weren't happy about that. I thought, well, I'm not going to get rid of it, because that was the vision, that was the goal. Like, all these like classic keyboards that I know and love, they all have an integrated cable. It's just part of the board as anything else. But I could just include an option for USB-C, and it's just more accessible that way. And in use, you're not going to see it. So why not? And it's a small change.
My solution would have been to include like a very simple like detachable limo cable, like with an actual limo quick disconnect, and then basically do it like only give like a couple inches, and then you've got the quick disconnect, and then just straight cable for like 2 meters.
First time round when I was
because that's
designing,
basically just as good as like not having an integrated cable in terms of like handling moving the board, because like it's real inconvenient to have to like wrap the cable around, take the board with you, but if you got the quick disconnect right by the board, you're good.
I did consider something similar for the first round because that kind of shroud connector size thing was a bit of a concern. When I first started, I actually wanted to have a cable that would be soldered directly onto the PCB, which just didn't work out. That was the cause of one of the long delays. But that was just me having a smoother brain back then. But then first time rounds, the keyboard was already way more expensive than I wanted it to be, and the margins were smaller than I wanted them to be, so I couldn't do that then. This time, thankfully, I managed to bring the cost even lower down, but I just didn't want to, well, partly didn't want to complicate things and just add more stuff into the package, but also I want people to add their own touch to the build, because my approach to offering different colors and things like that is generally quite rigid most of the time. The OGR only has 3 colors. So I'm kind of forcing a certain direction for people to use as their canvas to put their own tastes and builds on it. And a cable is one of those elements that they can personalize it their own way. So in the end, I thought, well, it's easier, it's cheaper, it's more in line with the goal. That I decided to leave it out at the end. I've got that in mind for another keyboard that I could. No, I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, OGR, I just thought, I don't know, it's such a focused and streamlined build that I wanted to give people some freedom to add their own stamp on it in the end.
For those that,
I mean, that freedom just comes with a hex key. It's fine.
I love that. I love that. I love
key.
that you.
Yeah.
I love that you have a vision and then you just stick to it. Because all the time, like when you're trying to put something out, like you get people like Simon who yell at you all the time, and then, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's responsible for the product. You're the one that has to deliver, and I really admire the fact that you just picked a direction and went with it.
Don't listen to people like me.
I mean, I do admire that the man.
I mean, you should, for like, you know, the common sense shit that, like, you know, just as like having another pair of eyes on the project. But, you know, don't like be like, oh, people are saying I should do this. Fuck what people think. It's your project. Do what you want.
Yeah, I do admire that he doesn't listen to people, but I still wish that, I mean, stick to the integrated cable. That is like what makes it great. And like also he's skipping Shrek the OGR green. I also think that's pretty sad. But it's a good board regardless.
Wait, there's no green? We've been ungreened?
Yeah, there's no Shrek the OGR green. I mean, that's a travesty, to put it lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
too bad.
I feel like
I mean, we
worst
still
kind
got a
of
chance
feedback.
for Shrek the ISO OGR. That's fine.
Yeah, I think the worst kind of feedback for me personally is when someone says, I would love it if this was a 60, or you should do this. Just from like say that. With AKB stuff, I don't present it until it's finished, because AKB things are like the only design things I can do where it is just for me. Like this is something that I love doing and enjoying. I'm not designing for anybody else. I'm designing for my own tastes. There's something that I want to build, something that I get a kick out of. And then after that, I'll offer people the opportunity to join me in enjoying it. And they can put their own stamp on it in the form of keycaps, switches, whatever kind of builds they can do. Because I will design it with a specific build in mind, as narrow-minded as I am in that respect. But when someone says to me, this should be a 60 insert, it's like, well, be the change you want to see in the world. Is this why I started designing? I wanted to have an ISO version of the 1800 Mini.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't clap back at that as much as I would like to. I'd love to tell people, it's like,
No, that's fine. There's no use getting upset.
No, I don't, because I generally don't care enough. But I love it when there's a few people I speak to in DMs that I'll ask their opinion on something, and like, I'm working on this. Like, what do you think? I speak to like Upas a lot about this kind of stuff, just because we talk anyway. And I'll gauge what he thinks on something, and then in those instances, he can say anything he wants, good or bad, constructive or not. I've asked for it, and I welcome it. But like, when I present something in like an IC or something, I don't really care if people like it or not. Really, all I care about at that point is if it's going to make MOQ or not. So the people that do like it, I'm flattered, very flattered. I'm still surprised to this day that people like the stuff that I do. If they don't, then who cares? Really, it's not for them.
Based.
But yeah, other than that, I don't really care very much about. I don't have the strong opinions on things. I live in my own little bubble. Like, we were talking about legends on keycaps earlier. I don't even notice that stuff, really. I'm just floating through life, just carefree and free spirited.
Dude just lives here.
Yeah, I just exist, really, within the hobby. But yeah, I'm here for me and for like my design love, but also for the people, and then all this stuff, the things and the drama, I block it out. I don't even. I'll close Discord when I've finished work for the day.
Yep.
It's I try and find the easiest way through life, I think.
I love it. That's why we love you.
I don't give a shit.
Because you don't give a shit.
Yeah, I've been lucky as far as Simon's concerned, really. Like, I say I don't care about what people think, and then I hear, oh, someone send me a link, where Simon was talking about like Killjoy on stream. I'm like, oh shit. Oh no. But like, almost every time he's just been really complimentary, or even if there's something he wanted to criticize, it's always very constructive. So just like,
yeah, I'm not
caught him on an angry day.
Well, I mean, to be honest, even if I'm caught on an angry day, like, I recognize the good projects as good projects.
Yeah,
there are still stylistic decisions that people make that make me very, very upset, like making things screwless. I don't know why every single fucking Canon keys boarded is screwless. Please stop doing it. It's bad. You scratch the anodization. Okay, not everybody's a fucking surgeon. It makes everything way more fucking complicated. Stop it. You know, unless you're gonna do like a real fucking cool bottom where like the bottom is sacred and like shall not have screw. Okay.
That's the only time when I do it, personally. Yeah, if I've got no way around it. If I want to do screws, like, have them visible, I want them to be a feature.
Yeah.
Like,
or,
part of the
I mean,
design,
you can always put them under feet as well. Like, we've got good enough feet technology now. Like, Geon feet have gotten fantastic.
I've never actually used them.
They're
I'm
real
just
fucking
stuck
good.
With my old school AKB feet on everything.
Like,
I need to iterate on that, probably.
The only downside is, like, it's a long strip, basically. So, like, you're kind of forced into the two strip thing. Like, there might be smaller ones, like even the original, the F1, literally just had like tiny little grommets that went into the 6 holes. So like, it's real fucking easy.
Yeah.
Oh, dramatic view.
We go back to 3M knobs.
I'm down. I'm down.
Fuck yeah.
As long as we don't go back to rivets, I'm cool.
I don't like round feet. I don't usually like really long feet either.
Wait, I have one very important question though.
But I have long and round feet, so you don't like my feet?
Do you like cones?
Oh,
feet?
baby.
No.
All right, ban him.
All right, thanks everybody.
All right,
thanks
for
guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a wrap. It's fine.
Yeah, see you next week.
No, maybe I've not seen anything. Well, maybe my knowledge is quite limited on them, but whenever I've seen a board of cone feet, it's just a rectangle on cones. There's nothing standing out about this board that I wonder why some of them are so lauded.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I am.
I'll
I'm not
read
using
the chat.
codes.
No, but like,
Bye, Jomes.
Or-
Bye, Jomes.
Do a cone board.
have you ever tried, have you ever sat and listened to like the unique sound signature of a board with cone feet?
Yeah, I've tried a couple at meetups.
And like, were you able to like hear the sound properly? Was it something you liked?
I probably didn't hear the sound very well. But
Okay.
I was just whelmed
Okay.
by
Well,
the
yeah.
experience.
Yeah. I mean, it's an acoustic thing. Like cone boards sound a very particular way, and if you like that, gotta have your cones.
I'll make this quick because it's more design bollocks. But let's see if I use this one. Yeah, this is like that Daft Art keyboard. So the shape of the AKB feet. My general view towards this is that like round feet are at odds with the shape of the keyboard. Like the feet follow the same direction, the pattern, it's hard to put into words, but I just feel like flip feet are fantastic. I'm just too stupid to design them. But
these are the
those are
the good feet, right?
Yeah.
But if you look very, very closely, right here in the front, it's round.
I was looking at my old 18.
You know why it's round? Because it's functional. It hides a screw.
Even better, there's the ecological round. You go like, yes. Let's get some cork going.
Oh my god!
Yeah. And I have like the best flip feet ever. I mean,
that's cool.
Who doesn't love a good lift?
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I just really long feet, like scuff feet, make me feel weird.
Yeah,
like 3M feet can work. But
I like the slippy feet, where they're not rubbery. They're like plasticky rubber. What were they? They were on like one of the Matrix boards, the 2.0 ADD had those feet, I think, where they were large circles.
Mm.
Am I on drugs? Let's find out. YouTube.com/BlackSimon. I should have a review.
Like an areola?
Okay, let's segue into Hugh's segue, I guess. Hugh, maybe you want to take over?
I'll keep you here all day.
I don't know if James knows this. I don't know if James can read it.
Yep, I am correct. It is 4 very large round feet, but they're like way more slippy than traditional feet. I really like those from a functional perspective.
Can you read it?
Speaking of,
it's just
thick round feet.
That is a thick. That's half horse and half cock.
Yeah.
So
first of all, we will have AKB James on with me and Gondo for a fitness episode. Ooh. But for this episode, so James. Okay, so first of all, let me backtrack and then I'll get to my point. For those of you that are audio only listeners, watch the video because James looks like Zeus. He looks like he's cut from Zeus's tooth, dude. Like, this guy is fucking jacked. Have you seen his facial structure? His chin, his hair. It's a finely coiffed, I don't even know what hairstyle that is, but this guy is sexy as fuck. I don't know who I was talking to on the previous episode, but I was like, every single person we have on, moods. Every single person we have on, like, they're fucking handsome, dude. Like, I don't want to turn on my camera anymore. I just want to let them have their cameras on.
Exactly.
Holy shit, James.
Just
like,
full screen them.
Why do you look so good, man?
I want to say for the people who have tuned into the video podcast that Hubert's on glue. I can't from anything. No, I don't even know how to answer that question, honestly. Forever a work in progress, I guess, is the approach I have to it. And again, a late bloomer. No, just I was kind of forced to change my ways a bit. Should you go into that? How deep you want to get into on this podcast? Get quite bleak.
Oh my god, go for the real quick. So this apparel there's a guy named Eric Bugenhagen. And one of the many reasons why I knew that James is a fucking base individual is because he knew who Eric Bugenhagen was. For those of you that don't know, if you click on my Discord profile, the guy in the background that's like wrestling a wrestling dummy in a monsoon in Florida, that guy's Eric Bugenhagen. So he wrestled for Wisconsin, the college, and he eventually went into the WWE. He wrestled at WrestleMania. He blew out his knee because he had like 3 guys on top of him and he was trying to squat and he blew out his meniscus, his whole knee and everything like that. But his whole mindset, the reason why his apparel is like, there's a horse cock, is he calls it horsecocking weights. Like he just doesn't give a fuck. He goes as hard as possible and it's a mindset. And what he preaches is, obviously there's safety, right? I'm not saying to kill yourself or to go overboard, but he preaches going super fucking hard, as hard as you can without hurting yourself, because something that's missing in the fitness industry and in working out in general is some people are afraid of intensity, like going super hard and trying to, push past your limits. And he's all about doing super heavy shit, like lifting super heavy shit. He talks about how it's a mindset. If you think you're going to fail, you're going to fail. But if you think like, oh, I'm going to be able to fucking lift 900 pounds, like he's yelling and stuff, I encourage everybody to watch his YouTube videos and his Instagram, Eric Bugenhagen. But James is a big Eric Bugenhagen fan, and I want to send some of his merch to James. So I'm going to figure out a way to get his address very sneakily. But that's what I'm wearing right now.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, you're so sneaky.
Yeah. But James,
It's very kind.
Yes, please tell us about how you got into working out. And again, we can go over this in a future episode, but just
Sure.
the working out, how that saved your life.
Done, Hubert. I was very sneaky.
It was not too long after fulfilling OGR. I broke up with a long-term girlfriend, like 6.5 years. Ended up being given, I think it's called like a Section 27. I was renting a large house just so I had the space to do all the fulfillment, because before that I was living in a really small place. I was basically given a notice to leave, and it was around the time that the deadline of this was around the time I was meant to be fulfilling these boards. It's like everything was kind of thrown up in jeopardy. Stress was through the roof. The whole thing was stressful anyway, but just trying to do this, also work, like family that I want to be there for as well. It was all weighing very heavily on me, and my weight was going up. My general health was it was getting pretty bad. I got asthma already, and that was getting really bad. And eventually I moved out into my own apartment and get set up, and it was sometime around this point, like, again, stress was really bad, but I kind of got this inkling that I might have ADHD. So a friend of mine, I met up with him after a couple of years of not seeing him, and he was telling me about it, and he went private for it and had his consultation. He's been given his medication. It's changed his life. He's able to focus and get stuff done. And I thought, okay, all these things he's telling me, I'm seeing a lot of parallels here. So I saved up some money. I went to the private clinic, did the consultation, and they say, yeah, you're scoring quite highly on inattentive ADHD. And we have different options that we can explore in terms of treatment, medication, whatever. And so I wasn't particularly open to like therapy. Didn't really think I had time for it. So I thought, well, I'll try whatever meds you've got. And so, okay, before we start, we need to do height, weight, and blood pressure readings. And I got a blood pressure monitor, took my readings, and it was something like 185 over 135, which, for those who don't know, is off the scale, beyond hypertension too. So that's immediately go to hospital kind of levels. And I knew that something wasn't quite right beforehand, because like I was my face was flushed all the time, especially when I even got slightly stressed. Just immediately, boom, my head went into a red balloon. But I went to A&E, and they do a bunch of tests, blood test, ECG, CAT scan. They find a whole bunch of small clots around my body. Okay, this is alarming. And they said, well, given that your blood pressure hasn't come down at any point in the, I think it was 6 hours or so I was there, because they were taking blood pressure readings every half an hour. You're on a fast track to a serious stroke or heart failure, because this isn't just like one little clot that we found. We've found it was somewhere in the teens. I can't remember. So I said, you need to immediately get on medication for this and make some serious lifestyle changes, which at that point I was occasionally walking to the store, but just on my arse all day, overworking. I was like hustling like crazy to get commissions done. I started working with Canon Keys at that point, but thankfully they were very accommodating to hearing all this. So I couldn't start my ADHD medication yet until I got my blood pressure down to a maximum average of 140/90, which is some difference. So I got walking every day. I would change my sleep schedule first, because I was generally awake from like 10 a.m. to 3 a.m., something like that.
Damn.
Try and be more in line with like American time. That wasn't working for me. So, I was getting up at maybe 7, 8 a.m., walk 3 or 4 miles a day. Didn't care how many blisters I got on my feet. Didn't care how much my feet would be bleeding by the end of it. I would just do it. And I found a nice spot, not too far from where I lived. And it's like a nice park to walk around. So at least it was a nice place to be. And I did that for 3 months, and I lost around 50 pounds also doing that.
Wow. Congrats, dude.
Yeah. I was still kind of eating some of the stuff I was eating before. I had to cut down sodium a lot. So I think I was probably overdoing that. But other than that, I didn't want to restrict myself too much on stuff I liked, because I know I would have rebounded and ended up back where I started. But after losing the weight, I thought, right, there's a gym nearby. I don't really like the idea of this. Never really been interested before, but I should probably give it a go. And I went in, went just doing my own thing for a while, kind of meandering my way through it, not really knowing what I was doing. I was watching some YouTube videos and everyone giving conflicting information and that kind of stuff. But I was determined to get something done. So I saw one of the guys there that I could see was a personal trainer, and he kind of got me on a general path forward. And he said, well, step one is building the habit of coming to the gym, because it said it's different for everybody, but it's 3 months of doing this, coming to the gym. At the time, it was 5 days a week I was coming in. At the end of that, it would feel like if you're still doing it, you won't have to force yourself to do it. It'll be as part of your routine as anything else. And thankfully, it did. And then as time's gone on, I've probably, because I did, after losing the weight, I managed to get on the ADHD meds, which helped in other ways, which was great. Although I've still got the hypertension. I've still got the issues there, but I'm on medication for that every day. So probably for life now. But it means I can't have too high a dose of the ADHD meds, because that bumps it up again.
Yeah.
But it helped me, I guess, channel my hyper focus onto things more willingly than before. Like before, it'd just be, I enjoyed doing this gaming, so I'm going to focus on this gaming all evening. I was able to channel it a bit more, and kind of acted cruise control in the car. I think you have to get yourself up to speed, but when you're there, it keeps you there. So it's really great with work and just discipline in general. So then when at the gym, even if I wasn't doing a clear plan, or if I was jumping from one plan to another because I couldn't stick to something for too long because I just see something else and shiny, I'll do that instead. I was still doing something. And generally speaking, like I haven't done any big bulks or cuts or anything like that, but like a really long recomp. I'm cutting now because I feel like gained a bit of confidence from all this. Like the biggest thing, like aside from the fact that I'm not dead, is my confidence is a lot better than it used to be. Before I just wanted to be purely invisible to everybody. Like I just wanted to go where I wanted to go. I didn't want anyone to see me get in my way. But now I can walk by a mirror and actually look at it. So it's kind of carried out not just kind of like a fitness thing, but across my general life. Like if you approached me about a podcast before all this health scare and revelations and stuff happened, I absolutely would not have considered it.
Yeah.
Like now, like I still enjoy my anonymity. Like I enjoy my own space and time away from the hobby sometimes, but now I'm not terrified of the thought of putting my face on a webcam, and that's just from picking things up and putting them down again over and over. It's weird how it's worked out, but it's life is a lot more enjoyable now because of it, and that's something that I would never have even considered when I started. So in a weird way, thinking I might have ADHD kind of saved my life because I haven't really stopped to think about it too much, but like it'd be strange. It's kind of a strange thought thinking like, I don't know, the start of 2023, I might not have been around anymore suddenly. I had like unfinished projects, and like, how would people react to that in the keyboard world? How would they even find out? How would they know? They probably wouldn't. They'd think this guy has dropped off the face of the earth. And yeah, I don't know, it's strange, but I'm very happy with life in general now. Like everything's falling into place. It's not all perfect. Life never is, but I feel much better equipped for tackling anything. And I think it all comes from just being healthier in general. It's like body first and then the mind follows. And yeah, it's so easy to say and hard to do, but it's absolutely worth it for me.
That's amazing, man. Like this episode, the Moods episode, the Gondo episode, they're so super emotional. And what you said is so true. We think about taking care of our mental health, but a big part of being healthy in general is also taking care of your physical health. Like it's hard to be healthy and physically fit and feel horrible. Obviously there's always going to be exceptions and like you can take things too far, but it's amazing how working out is similar to creating keyboards, right? You can see the tangible changes in your own body. You can see you losing your weight. You can see the veins in your biceps popping out once you get it to a low enough body fat. Like you see a transformation and it's so tangible. It's amazing. I think that's why so many people love working out. Like it's an actual change that you can see. You can see how much hard work you put into it because, you know, it's right there. The effects are right there. It's just fucking awesome, dude. So thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah,
awesome story. Glad to hear. Yeah.
Thank you. I just hope it helps somebody, because it's inconceivable for to be where I am now versus like 2 years ago. It's like it's something very cliche. But if I went back and told myself that I don't know, you like press 900 pounds at the gym or something, it's like, why would I even be at the gym? That's stupid. But it genuinely has, well, it not only saved mine, it's just changed my life in general, like how I view the world and how I do things, and my approach to life in the future. Like a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have given a shit if I thought I was going to die at 50. Like, I'm enjoying the life I'm living now, but then like once you're out of that fog, that haze, you realize like, no, it could be a lot better than that.
I mean, now
it is.
Now that you're out, James, like it's kind of like your moral imperative to be out there to talk to people. I'm so happy that you're here today, because like the hardest thing and the most important thing in a community, in a hobby, in a society is for people to just talk and listen. And if you listen to enough people, eventually you'll end up listening, you'll end up finding the right kind of person. And you'll know exactly when you found them, because that person will immediately trigger a positive change in your life. And James, congratulations on now joining that club of people that you can go out, you can help people now. That's the next step.
Yeah.
It's not just about building yourself. Once you've built yourself far enough, it's kind of your responsibility to help pull others along if you can.
Yeah. Even
before...
Hubert,
you don't fucking take that segue. I'm leaving.
I'm waiting for James to respond before I do good keyboard
God.
friend. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm going to wait for him to say like pumpernickel. I'll be like, speaking of pumpernickel.
Hey, do you have a problem with how I do my segues? Because they're fucking stupid. I know. I'm sorry.
Speaking of segues and good friends, maybe our dear AKB James has a good frequent friend he wants to note.
Yeah.
I forgot about this, but
I can read ours if you want sometime.
There's quite a few, I guess, off the top of my head. Can I just do a quick fire one?
Go for it.
Sure. Go for it.
Whatever you want.
Can.
Simon. Firstly, we don't really know each other on a personal level. We're not really friends in that sense, but OG Summer was hugely important to me, and played a huge role in me falling in love with designing and being where I am now. And that wasn't just getting into keyboards. That was a huge kind of paradigm shift in my life in general. I could have been in a very, very different spot if it wasn't for that. So it means a lot to me in a really kind of stepping back and look at the big picture kind of way.
Thanks, dude.
Look at that. ThereminGoat, love him or hate him, very straightforward guy, but I've known him since he first started collecting switches. We've always clicked really well. He's been a great friend, not only on a personal level, but I've often bounced ideas off him. So he's always been very straightforward. I always knew where I stood with him. Respected his opinions, stuff like that. There's Martin and Cipulot, both amazing guys. I've kind of bunched them together because in the same way they're both so patient, but immediately willing to jump in on and roll with whatever stupid idea I have.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Regardless of scale. If it's a one-of-one at a Glarses thing, a group buy, whatever, they're always immediately down. There's Mark, a colleague at Canon-Keys. He kind of feels more like a personal friend who's connected to me via keyboards rather than being a keyboard friend. But we've shared a lot of parallels in our personal lives, with family and stuff. So I hope I've been even half as effective a shoulder for him as he has been for me over the last couple of years I've known him. He's been really comforting when needed. Glarses as well, of course. Been such a fun guy to work with, but again, another kind of crucial point for me in my kind of keyboard career, if you want to call it that, where I decided to quit my job and just wing it, and then somehow, thanks to ThereminGoat actually saying you should message Glarses because I think he might need a guy, and then we both needed each other at the right time, and that made all the rest of it that followed possible. Stocks, the guy, the UK server who dared me to design the first keyboard to begin with. Okay, it's gonna get long. But he was technically part of AKB at the start. No kind of design background or anything like that, but he kind of served as a catalyst to many of those early designs that I did. But the main one is Upas, Canon-Keys. It's kind of cheap because he's my boss, but he was a friend first. So there's kind of a overriding working relationship there, but we do still take the time to talk about personal stuff here and there too. And
we'll get confirmation when we have Upas on.
Yeah. He's whenever I'm working on something new for myself, he's always there to provide like honest, constructive feedback and his ideas. He can like actually influence what I do. It's welcome. Like there are loads of lovely people at Canon Keys, but like I work with him more than anybody else. Like there's a lot of overlap in what we do because the two of us are the design side of the team. And if you like take the design process as an example, like even from the early days, he made like we might not always agree on something. We might butt heads, try and fight for the best idea on something, but he always made me feel heard and valued, which was a huge thing to me because it helped build up my confidence in my job, which carried out to other things as well. Kind of taught me to use my voice, come out of my shell more. But yeah, he's just he's a lovely dude. Most people don't get to see it because it's just, he's the face of a company I'm still waiting for my goddamn keyboard or something. But he's the human himself is a really, lovely dude. Most people don't. Yeah, I wish more people saw it. Really, maybe when he's on,
we'll expose him so bad.
Yeah,
so goodly, so badly. We'll expose him.
Yeah,
Muchly.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my 1/10 people on my list or whatever it was.
We take those. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it because so many people, we cross so many other people's paths, and Theremin, Upas, Chippy, Martin, they'll be on the podcast. Like it's so cool to hear people that we've had on talk about other people that we eventually have on. Jay was saying how we have so many amazing people from the UK on, and what would he tell them? Like everybody's fucking awesome. Like everybody's connected in the UK community. You, Jay, Upas, like it's literally a blessing for all four of us to have cool people like you on and just listen to you talk. Like I hope you think that we don't take it for granted because we loved you, and there's a reason why we want you to be on this platform to share your story. Like every single week it's been just like me as a kid in a candy store listening to you or some guest story. So thank you so much, James. Like you're amazing.
I appreciate the platform and the opportunity to appear as a human being for a change.
As opposed to keyboard triangle, man.
Yeah, it's hiding behind relative obscurity. Yeah.
No. I'll call you what an old lady in Kidderminster once called me. I'd say you're a real diamond geezer. And I think that goes again for all of the UK people.
See, you're on glue as well.
Absolutely.
Oh shit. Well, I will read our good keyboard friend of the week and then we'll end it. So, by the way, Simon, how do people nominate their good keyboard friends? Do you know how they do it?
That is a fantastic question. If you go to hugemeatbox.com, it'll be linked in the description. But in case you can't scroll to the description, huge, as in very large, meat, as in the delicious thing that some people like to eat, and box, as in what's in the box.com. That's our website. And there you can find the links to everything. Or you can go to hugemeatbox.com/nominate or hugemeatbox.com/nominee, whichever you prefer. And there you can fill out a very simple Google form where you don't need to be signed in. You put in who you are, who you want to nominate, and why you want to nominate them. And whatever you write there, we'll pretty much read it verbatim. All right? All right.
Thank you. So this week's nominee from the audience is from Dingo7, nominating Shades. He says, Shades is a good keyboard friend because, oh God. Because he organizes Taobao. I can't figure out how to use phones either. Because he organizes Taobao group orders for Muppets like me, switches, plates. I'm doing this. Oh my God. Does someone have this? Can someone get into the Google Drive?
Can't just copy paste in Discord, yeah.
Do I have to be signed in as us?
No, I think you have. It's on the.
I know. I see it. Okay. GKF
it's
nomination.
Green. Yeah, highlighted in green.
Got it.
Can you read that for me, please?
Yep. All right. So Shades is a good keyboard friend because he organizes Taobao group orders for Muppets like me. Switches, plates, artisans, Milmax sockets, etc. I would not be able to survive the tariffs with some of my soldering antics if it weren't for Shades. Shades also goes and scouts Mech Market every now and again and shares good deals that he posts into a channel if he knows that folks are looking for something in particular. A good keyboard friend that I hope I can visit in real life sometime in the future. Let's go, Shades. Thank you for being a good keyboard friend. And who submitted this? Dingo7. Thank you, Dingo7, for nominating your friend.
Fuck yeah. Well, on behalf of myself, Tanghus, Jomes, and Simon, thank you, James, for being on this episode. You're amazing. We love you. And see everybody later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.